The warrior series is commonly seen again in vinyasa yoga classes. And I want to make sure that you see the ways that this is accessible for you and to get you moving in kind of a way that would flow. A lot of people tell me they want to be able to just go to the park and flow. Yeah, you actually have to know the poses to do that. And so let's get there. Let's do it. We are starting with high lunge, low lunge, and warrior 1, right? To get some alternatives in. Tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week, we have warrior 2, extended side angle, peaceful warrior, and on Friday, I'm gonna flow all of these things together for you so you have a bit of a flow to kind of work on yourself and really get together, and then that you'll be able to repeat on both sides. Maybe repeat it a couple times, get into a rhythm for yourself, and just get to know your body better, right? As you do these things, you will get better. Do this one today. You do it again tomorrow with the second part, and you do it again on Wednesday with the third part, with the second and third part, right? And you continue to repeat just the pieces. On Friday, they'll flow together so much better for you. But if you just happen to be showing up to this whenever, all the pieces will still exist when you get there. Let's get started with our high lunge / warrior 1. We're gonna come to the top of the mat in our mountain pose, the same way as usual. Heels, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders. Think railroad tracks or a ladder. Straight down the body with the line straight across, right? The hips, the chest, the knees. We are flat, we are in line. We're gonna take that line with the edge of the mat in front of you. We're gonna flow through this just like we were in the middle of a vinyasa class. I feel like when you just kind of stand and start and step, it's just weird, right? That's not how real yoga classes or flows go, so I don't want to teach you that. And then you're like, well, how does that I'm supposed to get there? I wasn't standing up straight. So let's learn it that way. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up nice and tall. Heels, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, wrists. Exhale, fold, touch the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, shoulder blades squeeze back. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back with the right foot only. You're stepping back towards the back end of the mat, letting the ball of the foot come down, keeping the heel lifted. Your left toes and left knee are reaching towards the front edge of the mat. If you feel like your toes are pointed out to the side, your knee is going to go out to the side. So make sure that your toes are pointed forward so that your knee goes forward. From here, we're setting up for our high lunge. Walk your hands up the knee, find height, take your time. If you feel good and strong, like you want to sweep all the way up, great. That's not what I'm teaching you yet, but go ahead. So from here, we stack. Shoulders stack on top of the hips. You can bring the hands to the waist to give yourself some support here. Yes, we are still lifted in the back. Our heel is not down. So, and our knee, our front knee, left knee stacks directly on top of that left ankle. Now, one big thing here to keep in mind is this is 90 degrees, right? Knee is stacked on top of the ankle, and then your foot is flat. So if you are here with your foot up under you and you're uncomfortable and you're struggling, bring the heel down, wiggle your foot forward, press the hips forward. Now, your hips and shoulders still in line with that short edge of the mat. Your knee is stacked, your heel is lifted in the back, and your feel stable on that front foot. Gaze is forward. Find yourself a focal point. Option here to keep the hands on the hips, and maybe you sweep them up overhead. If you really feel like you're open, you want to open the heart, maybe you reach up and back towards where the ceiling and the wall meet behind you. It's just a heart opener. It's an option. I invite you to bring the hands back to the waist, right? So if this high lunge is like, nah, I'm really not holding on to it. I feel the stretch in my quad and I feel it in my hips, but I feel like I'm working real hard. Come down. I'm gonna bring both hands to the front, bend in the back and bring it all the way down. If it feels better to come down to the floor first, do that. And then sweep the left leg forward. Wiggle the left foot forward. Because just like when we were standing and we didn't want the foot up under us like this, we don't want this foot up under us now either. Wiggle that left foot forward, slide it forward, whatever it may be. You also might want a knee pad or to double up the mat like I told you before on the right side. But wiggle this foot forward and then press the hips forward. You're gonna get that same engagement that you felt, the stretch here. You might even be deeper because you don't have to work so hard to hold yourself up. We're almost on the floor. There's almost nowhere for you to fall. You'll be fine. We're here. Right knee stacks, left knee stacks on top of the ankle. We press those hips forward, lift the chest. Same option to bring the hands up overhead or reach it back for your low crescent lunge. Exhale. Those hands down. You feel that stretch, the hips and the groin. Right, we're going to finish this with the rest of our vinyasa flow. Left hand comes inside the left leg. We're going to sweep that left leg back. Plant the hands down. Tuck the toes. Come up to my plank. Option for this to be a plank on your knees. That's fine. We're just flowing through our vinyasa like we did the other day. Lower the knees. Lower the chest. Untuck the toes. Press the floor away. Lift cobra. Exhale. Tuck the toes, send the hips high, down. Tuck the toes, send the hips high, down dog. Gaze forward between the hands. I'm going to show you the difference between high lunge and warrior one. Inhale, your left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forward towards the front edge of the mat. Left toes reaching forward, both sets of fingertips down. Your back heel is still lifted. Remember, this is exactly where we were when we stepped back with the right foot before. We're going to spin that right heel down and in towards the center line of the body. If you have a mat with patterns, I feel like it's just so much easier to find where these spaces are. So just keep that in mind. But your right heel has turned in towards the center line of the mat and towards the center line of your body. Your right toes are now facing out towards the long edge of the mat. And your left foot is exactly where it was before. Maybe again, you need to wiggle it forward so you can press those hips forward. You can walk the hands up the knee, find height here. What you feel is exactly what's difficult about this pose. So we are still facing forward. We are still turned the same direction as the short edge of our mat. The left toes are forward, shoulders stack on top of the hips. We sink it down here. That stretch on the quad that we were feeling before now has gone up and included the hip, right? And so that might be really intense. It might be fine, but it might be really intense. So just notice that that's the difference. If you need to alternate for yourself, you now know you can do high lunge instead of your warrior one, or low lunge instead of your high lunge. I hope that was helpful. If you have more questions, remember this is going to flow through the week. So I hope that was helpful. If you have more questions, remember this is going to flow through the week. So one, I would stick with it. Two, ask your questions and continue to watch the videos and see if it makes more sense for you, for your body, because you are gaining this new information for the first time ever. Allow it to be new and allow yourself to learn. If you would like to be in my class, I have my online sessions. Everything is at ThickThighYoga.com, including these t-shirts, those water bottles, and my yoga classes. I teach every week, and I would love to have you in a class or a private session. I'll see you soon.